In this video, we're going to look at some other things that have to do with equations. For instance, whether something is linear or not linear, and how to write parallel and perpendicular lines. So linear means it's a straight line, and to have a linear equation, that means there's no exponents in your equation. So you could have something like y equals 3x. X has a power of 1 since there's no number there. So this would be a linear equation. Any other power is going to make a different shape. If you have an x to the second power, it's called a parabola, and this is what we call a quadratic. Parabolas can open upward, so if we have, for instance, x squared or 3x squared, since the 3 in front of our x squared is positive, it's going to open upward. Positive things are happy, which means it looks like a smile. So the parabola smiles at you if this is a positive number. If, however, we change it and flip it around and we do negative 3x squared, our coefficient is negative, which means negative things frown. So our parabola opens downward. If you have parallel lines, that means they have the same slope. Perpendicular lines, so parallel lines are going at the same direction. So their slope, their rise to their run, is going to be the same exact number. Perpendicular lines, however, one is going to be going up while the other one is coming down, forming a right angle. So when we're looking at our slopes are what we call opposite reciprocals. So if one of our slopes is 1/2, to find a perpendicular line, we have to turn it upside down and change its sign. So it would become -2/1 or just -2. If you had 3/4, or let's go with -3/4, the opposite reciprocal, we would turn it upside down and change its sign. So the 4 would now be on the top, the 3 would be on the bottom, and instead of having a negative slope, we would have a positive slope. All right, so let's try some of these. We need an equation that's parallel to each line. So that means we need to find the slope. So if we remember back to our last video, our slope is this number that's in front of the x. So our slope is going to be +1/2. So to write an equation for a line that's parallel, we're going to use the slope 1/2 x, and you can just leave it as 1/2 x, or you can put it as plus anything except or minus anything except 5. All right, for our second one, our slope is here, -6. So to be parallel, we need to keep that same slope. So maybe a +1. If we're looking for a line that's parallel, we're looking for one that has a slope of -6. So our last one, would be 4. So y equals 4x minus 7. All right, as long as it has the same slope, the intercept just has to be any number that's different. All right, so if we do that same thing with perpendiculars, we take our slope, so -3, and we need to make that a fraction, so -3/1. To be perpendicular, we're going to change it and flip it upside down. So we're going to change to 1/3, and our original slope was negative, so our new slope is positive. If we look at number 2, our slope is 1/4, and that means our new slope is going to be flipped upside down, so that would be 4, and then we go from positive to negative. So if we need equations for these, we forgot that on the first one, so y equals 1/3 x, y equals -4x plus 1, or plus or minus anything, and our last one, our original slope was +2. So again, if we make that into a fraction, our perpendicular line, we're going to flip and switch our slope, so it becomes -1/2. So y equals -1/2 x plus, well, let's say 2. All right, so parallel lines, we keep our slope the same. So if we have to find one that is parallel, we're going to be looking for a line that has the same slope, which is the number in front of x, and a different intercept. Perpendiculars, we're going to take the original slope, we're going to turn it upside down and change its sign. So we're going to flip and switch our slope.